to work. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wealth Not Weight. I am your host, Joseph Coizza, and today we're talking diets. Now, a common question I get is, how do I start on a diet? Now, there's many reasons why somebody would want to start a diet. Obviously, the first one is they're overweight or they're having some sort of health issue. Now, being overweight isn't necessarily meaning you're going to have health issues, but you could be overweight and comfortable and healthy, but the issue comes when you get to be so overweight that you have difficulty doing normal tasks. You're not happy with yourself, and you have significant health issues. My doctor, when I was, back when I was overweight, told me at the ripe old age of 16, he's like, listen, he goes, you're getting kind of up there. He goes, I understand, you're enjoying life and you're young. He goes, but realistically, you could stand to lose 20 pounds. And that was kind of a big wake-up call for me, especially when they're checking your blood pressure, and they're like, well, we want you to come back and double check. Maybe just something kind of upset you today, but it's a little high. And, at 16, you really don't want to get that kind of news. Nowadays, hearing about heart disease and stress and all this stuff that can kill you, it's not something you really want to toy around with. So having a balanced diet, starting like sort of nutrition and working out and whatnot, and starting that diet and the necessary like lifestyle is an important reason why people want to go about that, is because of their health. And two is another big reason is because people want to look better. They feel that by traditional means they're not attractive, or they're not happy with themselves, and it's important to love yourself the way you are. Regardless of what you look or how you act or whatever. It's just as long as you're a good person and you try and be the best person you can. If you're a little overweight, oh well. If you're a little underweight, oh well. If whatever, it doesn't matter as long as you're happy with who you are and what you look like. But again, the issue comes in when you have a lot of serious self-doubt. Again, like someone like myself did. I look at myself in the mirror, and it gets really difficult when you sort of look back, and the person looking back at you isn't you. You look in the mirror and you're like, who is this stranger? Who is this sad, upset person looking back at me? And part of the reason was I needed to be happy with who I was, but then also part of the reason was I needed to make a change. I didn't picture, I didn't look the way I pictured myself, if that makes sense. I looked and I was like, oh, I seen this, great person who's, very positive and outgoing and, could take on the world. And the person I looked in the mirror and seen, or looked in pictures and seen, wasn't that person. So I knew I had to make it a change, not just accept who I was. There was something I actively had to do. And there's nothing wrong with that either. If you want to make a change and you're like, I love myself for who I am, but I want to make a change and make improvements, that's always good. Improving yourself and trying to be better is always a good thing. Those are the two big reasons why people start diets. Now let's go about on how to get on diets. Big thing would be, I'd say, use a reputable calorie counting app. A lot of people, I don't count calories. I always used to be, I'm calorie conscious. That would be the $5 word that I'd use. Calorie conscious. It doesn't work. You just kind of like, I kind of sort of watch what I eat. It ain't going to work out, because it's like with spending. It's like, I only bought like 5 things, and then you check your bank account and you're negative $100. And you're like, well, maybe I bought more than 5 things. Well, it was really expensive 5 things. Same thing goes for when you're eating food. I really didn't have, I had a conversation with my family today. They're like, you really didn't eat much today. And I was like, I had like 4 eggs. I had, like 2 bowls of fruit. I had like 4 things of wheat toast, turkey bacon. What do you mean I didn't eat much today? Oh, well, the meals you ate were small. Yeah, but I had 2 nutritious meals. What do you mean I didn't eat much? You tell me I had 4 eggs. That's not eating anything. 4 eggs, 2 bowls of fruit, turkey bacon, some bread. That's not eating anything at all today? Come on, really? People, just kind of have a tendency to minimize things, especially when it comes to spending and eating. Recommend is start counting your calories with an app like MyFitnessPal. Not sponsored or anything like that. It'd be nice if they were. But it's an app that I use. I know a lot of people use. Just enter in the food that you eat. Track every little thing. It's like, I had a piece of candy. Track it. Keep on track. And nothing is too small to keep up with. If you're not keeping up with it, if you're not staying on top of what you're going to do, then you'd be like, oh, this is okay. Oh, this is all right. In for a penny, in for a pound. You excuse candy and some little snacks, and you start excusing big meals, and you're going to forget it. And then it ain't going to do you any good because you're not logging your calories. Just start logging calories, enter in the information, and talk about a realistic goal that you wish to lose. That brings us to our second part, is come up with a realistic goal. If you're like, well, I think I could lose 10 pounds. Okay, lose a pound a week. That's something realistic. It's not out there. And if you always want to try harder, if you're doing it and you find it super easy to do, you can pick up more. If you're finding it's a little more difficult, then you can always cut back. You always make the changes you need. It's not a one and done kind of system. You're able to make the changes that you need in order to improve yourself. So that's step number 2, is finding a realistic goal that you want to achieve and setting up a timeline for that. Then, I understand when you first start out, it's going to be very difficult to get into I'm eating less or I'm eating different kind of food mentality. I know it's something I kind of struggled with when I started to really get into it. At first I was like, oh, well, I really don't want to eat a heavy breakfast in the morning when I go to school, otherwise it's going to upset my stomach. So I started cutting back, and I had one of those little healthy milkshake type things. And then for lunch, I really didn't enjoy anything, so I switched to Caesar salads because I like Caesar salads. Well, that happened to be a lot healthier for me than the things I was currently doing, and it was, less food than eating 7 funnel cakes a day. And ended up losing weight, and then I kind of got like a fever for it. I was like, oh wait, I'm starting to look better. I'm starting to feel healthier. Things are getting better for me. After a couple months, when I started to really get into it, my doctor, listen, you're getting a lot healthier. This is great. When I told you to lose 20 pounds, you kind of brushed it off in the beginning, but now you actually did it, and I'm really proud of you. You're obviously going to start feeling better. Have you noticed any changes? I said, yeah, of course. I feel great. I feel confident, and I feel a lot healthier. And he goes, well, looking at all your information, you are a lot healthier. So it's definitely worth it, but I know it's going to be tough, and you just have to stick in there and try your best. That's something I really can't recommend enough, is just try your hardest to do it. Don't give up after a week. Don't do a fad diet and then just, well, this doesn't work out for me. Really try to eat right and eat nutritious foods. That's the thing. Just diet and exercise is the only real thing that's going to work for you, and the only real lasting thing that's going to work for you. Don't start something if you're not going to finish it. The lifestyle and a healthy diet is something you can keep up forever and enjoy life along the way. Start watching what you eat. That's very important. You can't be like, okay, well, I have 800 calories left, let me go eat 800 calories. No, you need to start being a caloric deficit if you wish to lose weight. So say like someone like myself has to eat 2,300 calories, and I do enjoy occasional snacks and indulge from time to time. So I have a little bit of a lower calorie count than somebody who has to work out constantly, and they'll be able to eat a lot more because their body requires a lot more in order to function. Then watch what I eat based on that. It's like, well, I look at my nutrition and I look at how many calories I have, and it goes, okay, this piece of cake, what nutritional value does it give me, for one, and then 2, how much calories does it take up? Calories like a unit of energy. Everybody thinks, oh, this only has 80 calories. Well, if it's 80 calories, but it's pure sugar, it ain't going to be good for you. It's 30 grams of sugar, but it's like, oh, it's only 100 calories. No, it's not good. A lot of tea. I looked at raspberry tea I used to really enjoy back in the day, and it was like 200 calories. I was like, oh, that's not bad. Let me look at the nutrition label. You always should check the serving size. We have another video on that. Check the link. But always check the serving size and the nutrition information, and it's like 40 grams of sugar. I was like, holy crap. What the hell is this? Always check the label. So you need to make sure you're eating foods that are both good for your calories and good for your nutrition. You need to make sure you're staying up on your proteins. Your protein will build muscle and help you function. Your carbs, everybody goes, oh, I stay away from carbs. I'm on a no-carb diet. You have to eat the right carbs. You have to eat what's called complex carbs. Complex carbs digest slower than normal carbs. So like wheat bread versus white bread. White bread is a simple carb, which is like almost like eating a sugar. It's going to digest really quickly to get that boost of energy, but then it also, helps build fat. A complex carb digests slower, gives you that energy. Carbs are like your energy source. You cannot function if you completely cut out carbs and you're like, I don't have any carbs at all. You're not going to be able to function because that's like your energy. And then it brings you down to your sugars. Natural sugars are good, but you don't want to go overboard on your sugars. Having a candy bar versus having some fruit. Fruit's gonna have sugars in it too, but the natural sugars are gonna digest better and not build up fat as much as added sugars in something like a candy bar. And then fats. Fats are like your storages. You want to have a decent amount of fats, but you don't want to overly do your fats, obviously. And otherwise I'll build fat and build up issues, and then it's normally combined with a lot of sodium, and then you have heart problems, and then it goes into a whole bunch of things. So you have to make sure you're watching both what you eat and how much of what you eat. There's of course also other things like fibers and vitamins. You have to make sure you have a lot of fiber. Fiber sort of helps your digestive system and also allows you to easily process foods. It's everything sort of, if you just had liquids and you didn't really have a lot of fiber, it's going to wreak havoc on your digestive system and your stomach, and you're going to have a harder time processing things, and you're going to kind of notice that. It also makes you, feel kind of fuller without really even having to eat too much. You notice you eat a lot of, roughage, a lot of lettuce. That's something that kind of has a good amount of fiber in it. Or type things, there's a lot of fiber in them. You're like, oh, that was actually somewhat filling. I only had a small little bar for it. One of those little health bars. It has a lot of fiber in it, so it makes you feel fuller. Also vitamins, vitamin A, B, C's, whatever. You have to make sure you have enough vitamins and you have to make sure you're eating proper amounts of food. You don't want a ridiculous amount of vitamin A and then no vitamin C. You want to make sure all those are getting kept up on, because that sort of plays in with the rest of the lipids and protein. I had to cut out a lot of soda when I was younger. I'd come in, I'd go into work, and I'd eat probably drink about 60 cups a weekend. I'd have probably like somewhere around 25, 30 cups a day, and I worked 2 days. Was worth a normal life soda. It was horrible. You know, that's insane by anybody's standards. So initially when I cut that out and I watched what I ate on my sugars, you know, maybe have a piece of cake every once in a while, but not have like 2 a night, immediately I started to lose weight, because, you know, I didn't even start counting my calories at that point yet. But that was like the beginning of my diet. You have to start cutting out the things that you don't need, and, you know, sort of prioritizing what you do. Same thing with like a budget. Prioritize what you need, and then what you don't, if you have room, if you've been doing good lately, you know, 3-4 weeks went by and you've been, you know, in a caloric deficit, you've been eating less than what you needed, you've been eating nutrition, have some cake. You know, then you enjoy yourself, but you have to do it in moderation. That is the key. A lot of people don't eat in moderation, and they go, oh, I had cheeseburgers and french fries, that's not bad. Well, yeah, maybe you didn't eat much, but the food wasn't good in nutrition for you. So you have to watch how much you eat as far as caloric intake and amount, and then your nutrition as well. You have to make sure you're getting proper nutrition, and you have to make sure you're eating less than what you need for your caloric intake, and then you'll be at a caloric deficit, and the food you do have will be high in nutritional value. You'll be able to function, your body will be looking better, you'll be healthier, and all around good things will happen if you have a balanced and nutritious diet. So that's going to be it. Like and subscribe, of course, it really helps out the channel. You know, the YouTube algorithm loves it. You know, like, subscribe, comment, the whole 9 yards. If anybody wants to start up a conversation, talk about diet, ask some questions, I'll be more than happy to respond in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time.